welcome everyone to the 2020 Business Pitch Competition. This is not how I anticipated this competition going, but here we are. So we're adaptable and flexible and we're making it work. So thank you all for being here, for all of the community members who've showed up and all of the students who've worked to prepare themselves for this day. So welcome to all of you. Oops. So this is just like an agenda for our time together. We have had another change in the schedule just today. So the chances of this going until 3 o'clock are pretty slim. So we'll probably get done early and hopefully that'll allow you to enjoy this beautiful day. So I'm gonna just do a brief introduction, and then our first pitch presenter, McKenna Vincent, is gonna start us off, and then Aurora is gonna go second, and then Haley will go third, and then Zacho will be our fourth presenter, and then that will wrap us up. We'll have a debrief, or the plan at least is if we have time, there will be a chance for the panel to discuss our thoughts on the presenters, and then at that time I will put all of the people who aren't a part of the panel into a waiting room, and then I'll bring you back in, we'll present the awards, and we will close out. Are there any questions? If you have questions at this time, you can unmute yourself. And I also want to make sure that all of the panelists have the scoring rubrics that you were given. So let me know if you don't have that. Okay. No one has spoken. Oh, I see someone in the chat. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. All right, sounds good. So we are going to move on. Okay, so just a little bit about the project for those of you who are a part of this who might be unfamiliar. This project was for an economics class or entrepreneurship class. So students in both classes were presented with an opportunity to design business proposals for vacant lots in downtown Brighton. And with the help of the Brighton Downtown Development Association and the Brighton City Council, they actually chose 3 lots that students were going to design businesses for. And it was a process. We visited those spaces, and students used research on the Brighton community as well as those lots themselves, their own observations of the Brighton community and their own ideas. And they also each had a community partner who they were able to work with as they built their project and ask questions and receive feedback from those individuals. And the students who are here today participating in this competition were invited to compete as a result of the passion that they've shown, their innovation, the professionalism and accuracy of their business plans, and the creativity of their ideas. So they worked hard in the classroom before the school shut down and continued to do great work even once they had to adapt to working virtually. We had an amazing group of community partners who were working with us on this project. And so I just want to shout out, some of those people are on this call right now, and some of them aren't, but they were all super supportive and willing to work with the students along the way. So I want to make sure that we recognize all of them. So Scott Griffith of Griffith Realty, Jim Muzzin, Christopher Kleba, Jim Barnes, Pete Lindhout, Lisa Nelson, Ashley Cirilli, who is also on this call, Matt Vedder, Chuck Fellows, Jim Combs, Marcia Jabrowski, Nate Genzier and Tim Corrigan, as well as continued partnership with the Brighton Downtown Development Association and the Brighton City Council, who heard my pitch for this project and partnered with me to make it all possible. So yeah, thank you all for all of the support that you have provided to students along the way, and for those of you who are here today in order to continue supporting in the conclusion of this project. And I also want to shout out our sponsors. So this competition is providing students with the opportunity to win. First prize is going to be $1,500. Second prize will be $1,000, and third prize will be $500. And that is all made possible by a grant from Lake Trust Credit Union. So I appreciate their support and their partnership with this project and making it all, giving students this opportunity to really make it real. So the process as we move forward, the presenters, so the business pitches they're going to have about 3 to 5 minutes to pitch their business idea. Some of them have created videos, some of them have created presentations, and some of them might just do some informal communication on their business idea and just sharing with you the vision that they have. And then we'll provide 5 minutes for panelists to ask questions. And some of you are on the call, you're not exactly a panelist, but if you do want to ask questions at that time, I'll open that up to all community members on the call as well. Okay, I'm going to, I don't know, okay, sorry. I'm trying to manage the chat and also present. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, so scoring criteria, some of you have messaged me asking if you could get access to this. So once the first presenter starts, I will share this with those of you who are interested, or I'll post in the chat a link to the template for this. But students, as they make their presentations, they're going to be scored in a variety of categories, and these are those categories. So the first one is the value proposition. Our students like what is the problem they're trying to solve, or what is the basis for their business idea. Market analysis, how have students learned about the Brighton community, their target customers, and included that in their business plans. Operations, so that's basically partnerships, and how are students going to rely on other resources and other businesses in order to make their vision come true. Cost structure, understanding the costs associated with starting up a business as well as continued operation, and revenue streams, our students presenting how they are going to be making money for a business. And then visual, this could be their presentation or their video that they created, and then overall pitch on just their confidence, their passion, their professionalism, and all that. So I'm going to unmute everyone. Before we get started, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to unmute. I'm going to take a look at the chat. It looks like Nick Wasmer shared the pitch scoring template. Thank you for doing that. So if you want access to that, then you can have access to that now. Does anyone else have any questions before we get started with our first presenter? Okay. All right, so McKenna, I am going to unmute you, and then you can take over so you can share your screen whenever you are ready.
Okay. Hi, I'm McKenna, and my business is Wine Penny Records, and I pre-filmed the video, so I'm going to share that. Hi, my name is McKenna Vincent, and I moved to Brighton about 3.5 years ago. Moving to Brighton, a big thing that stuck out to me was its sense of community. During summer, every Monday night, swing dancing would be held at the mill pond. And every month there would be a different festival, and every so often a concert at the amphitheater. This brought a variety of different people to come together and enjoy a common theme, music. I did notice, though, that there aren't many places downtown for these events to be held or for people to just hang out at. And this also only happened during the span of 3 summer months. So to solve this problem, I wanted to create a business that allows the community to come together and enjoy music all year round. My business is called Wine Penny Records. It's located at 117 East Grand River in downtown Brighton. Because my target market ranges from ages 16 to 65, I wanted to make sure that I had something in my business that would interest them all. My location has 2 floors. On the main floor is a record store selling vinyls, CDs, and record players. This allows those who might have grown up with records and record players to give them the feeling of nostalgia and to reminisce in the past. This also allows teenagers or young adults who might not have grown up using a record player to experience something vintage and something that they might not have ever been able to experience before. In the basement is where the concert venue is going to be held, bringing in different bands for people to enjoy and being able to see them live right in downtown Brighton. And since my age range varies, I wanted to make these bands family friendly so everybody would be able to take part and enjoy it. So my channel of distribution is mainly the artists and bands who play for us and the distributors who will be providing the vinyls and CDs. And since this is a physical store, our sales will be direct, and I want to eventually incorporate shipping so that everyone around the world can enjoy vinyls from Wine Penny Records. We build our customer relationships by commercial advertising, going around to different businesses and promoting Wine Penny Records. Also, just by building the personal connections with our customers, befriending them, and giving them a place that they're comfortable at. My key partners include the artists and bands who will be playing and who own the music, and there are certain distributors who will be able to provide the vinyl CDs and record players for Wine Penny Records. And for my cost structure, the expenses we have are going to include employees. I want to start small with very little employees just to get it going. And then the smaller, inexpensive events to kick off the business. We'll be selling records and selling the ones right away that we know are going to be sold that people really want. And our fixed costs include electricity, rent, and furniture. And our variable expenses will be the records we supply and the bands we have play. Each of these are going to be different prices depending on the artist. For our revenue streams, we make the money selling our concert tickets and our vinyl, CDs, record players, all those sales. Our prices for each artist are going to vary depending on who it is, and our vinyls are going to vary also, but on average, they're usually around $24. That's the same with concert tickets. They can range from $10 to $100 and more, but I want to keep it fairly cheap, but still make money. So depending on who's playing, I want to make sure that it's around $10 to $40. So my next steps, if I win, I want to invest this money in my business, not necessarily focusing on the location and selling records, but using this money to bring in different bands and artists and hold some small concerts in local coffee shops or at the Mill Pond Amphitheater, and doing this more often so that everyone has a chance to go to one of these events and see music being held live. So in conclusion, I really think I should be picked. I really appreciate Brighton and its community and think that it's a great way to connect the community more, and everyone can take part of these events, coming together through music.
McKenna. So we will open it up to 5 minutes of questions, just to ask her a little bit more about her business, or if you missed something on the video that you would like her to repeat, then you can ask that now.
There's Buddy. So I have a question. This is Nate with the City of Brighton. Tell me about the concert venue downstairs. Do you have the space, the ceiling heights and clearances that you can accommodate a small venue? How many people do you think could participate in a concert?
I think including like the band and crew and the employees around, I'd say 60 to 70 people. It's a fairly large space, and for the amount of people like that we want coming, because no, it's a good space in the basement, and I think that if it's like a small stage and the band is like a fairly small band, then there'll be enough space to hold a good amount of people so that everybody gets a chance to see the band live.
Thank you.
McKenna, I don't know if you mentioned this in the video, but can you tell us where your lot location was? I had the picture up there, but
Yeah. So it's right in downtown Brighton on East Grand River. I have the address written down. It's it's at the 117 East Grand River, and it's where the old Nerdageddon comic book store was at, and it's right next to the photography studio and the Stout Irish pub.
I have a question. What type of competition, if any? I know in the beginning of the video you mentioned that there isn't a space for people to congregate in this space. So do you anticipate there being competition, and who would that be?
Right now, definitely at the amphitheater. They have concerts there, but they're usually just during festival times and summer. And then at the local coffee shop at Brighton Coffee House, they have a small theater in there too that they have sometimes plays and bands to play at, and open mic nights.
I have a question. Hi, McKenna.
Hi.
As a obsessive and avid record collector, I didn't hear anything in your presentation about access to used or resale. Is that part of your business plan as well, or is it just strictly new stuff?
Yeah, I think that having used stuff that people might want to donate, or I can buy them off of them, would be really cool. And having local artists who want to promote their music, I think that would be something that people really like. Starting off, I definitely want to do more, get the records that I know for sure that people are going to want to buy, like maybe people my age want to buy, and then others older, seeing what they're interested right now in.
So I did also have a question. You seem to have a pretty broad age as your customer base. Who do you imagine being the primary age of your customers? Is it more geared towards families where the concerts currently attract more families into Mill Pond, or is it young adults or teenagers?
I think right now at the Mill Pond, there's generally more adults who go there. Every time I go there, I don't really see many teenagers or young adults. So I think I want my venue to be geared towards teenagers and young adults, since there's not really a lot, like a place for them to congregate. But I want it so that everybody gets a chance to come and enjoy the music, and so having it like family friendly, of course, and not and keep the teenagers interested too, and somewhere where they can go.
And then one more question. I don't know if you had said it in the beginning of your presentation. What would the costs be to start the business? What would your costs need to be?
So for the business, for the location, it's $110 per square foot. So it's about $238,150 total. And then adding in right now the records, each record for people to buy are around $24. So probably it'll cost me around 40% of that to buy them. And then I need to, for the furniture and different things like, let's see, furniture and the paying the employees, yeah, electricity, rent, and furniture would be, and employees would be the main costs, fixed costs, and that would definitely be around, so that'd probably be around 300,000. I want to say, like, total with everything, the building costs and everything to start it up.
I do have a question. I don't know if you can see me or not. This is Tim, and I'm still a novice at all of the Zoom stuff. But have you done any kind of revenue projections of what you think it would you would bring in a year to offset these costs and deal with it? And also, do you think that at your ticket price at 60 to 70 people, you can get enough bands in there that will take an interest to come in?
Yeah, I haven't done the yearly, but I know that starting off with the bands, like, there's a lot of local talent and who want to kickstart their own bands. So going to concerts, I noticed that in the smaller venues, it's definitely around $10 to $40 per ticket. And I'm sorry, what was the other question?
It was, again, the over the yearly projection, and then you just were answering it one on if you could get enough revenue at the 60 to 70 people at your ticket price to attract enough bands would be interested to come at that pricing level, depending upon what you have to pay them to get them there.
Yeah, I think that starting off just with the local and with some bands that want to get their name out there and having them, I think the prices will be right. And then after a while, we can up the prices and find more bands.
Sounds good. Thank you, McKenna. Amazing job with your presentation, kicking us off. We are going to go now to our second presenter, which is Aurora, Cardoni's Coffee and Cats. And I'm gonna mute myself so you can take over, okay?
Hi, my name is Aurora Cardoni. I appreciate you guys taking the time to hear my pitch today. I'd like to introduce you to Cardoni's Coffee and Cats. I have prepared a video. Do you like hanging out with cats and drinking coffee? Then you're like most people, and I would like to introduce you to Cardoni's Coffee and Cat Cafe. Michigan already has a few cat cafes, and I think that Brighton is the perfect city to add to the list. Brighton has a very wide array of people that would make the business profitable: empty nesters, teens, families, and every kind of cat and coffee lover. In addition to drinks, we were hoping to partner with M Street Bakery to make exclusive treats in addition to their fan favorites. When customers come to our store, I want to build relationships by being a very friendly place with good service and great food. In addition to that, I would like to work with the local Humane Society, giving customers a chance to volunteer with a cat. Students have price advantages and the simplicity of the paperwork, I chose to make my business an LLC. The most significant costs would be the startup costs like building storefront, decor, fixed items for the cats, and machines to drink. Other costs would include bills, salaries, food and drink costs, and cat food. We would build revenue by selling drinks and snacks as well as the hourly rate at the cafe. The location has both positives and negatives, in the sense that it is near ample public parking, but also main footpath. However, with a strong social media presence and the uniqueness of the business itself, I believe the positives far outweigh the negatives. If I won the money, I would use it to pay for my college and definitely get my cat a toy. If I were to open this business, my next steps would be to apply to become an LLC and start filing and applying for the right permits and licenses. With your help, I can make mine and every cat lover's dream come true.
Thank you for watching my video. In addition to that, I have some photos. Okay, so this would be a sample menu that we would have at the cafe. And like it said in the video, it would be provided by Street Bakery. And then here's my social media page that I created. And then here's one of the desserts that would be offered. And then here's another dessert that would be offered at the cafe. So yeah, do you guys have any questions?
Hi, Aurora. I
Hi.
like the video. Can you talk a little bit more in detail about the costs? I know you mentioned a few things, but if you could kind of go into more detail about what you think it's going to cost to staff your store and keep it running.
We have 2 full-time employees and 2 half-time employees, and kind of open up the rest of help to volunteers at the cafe. And the startup cost would be around $800,000 just because we're starting with a leveled lot, and I want to have it be 2 floors. So that costs a lot of money. And then ongoing costs would be around $5,000 every month due to the fact that we have to take care of the cats and we have food and bills. So yeah.
Hi, Aurora. I had a question. It's a really, really interesting concept, and I know these cat cafes are becoming pretty popular. But talk to me about how you would go about with a partnership with an existing company like M Street Bakery. Would that mean that you don't cook any of your items at your space, that it would all be brought in from outside? And then I think just a question in general, do the cats live there, or is that part of your partnership with the Humane Society? So what would that look like?
So yeah, I want to bring in the food from M Street Bakery just so that we don't have to worry about extra permits or any safety problems with storing the food. And the second level actually of the cat cafe would be just for like the cats and the staff, so that they can have a place to go and be away from the people if they need a break. And that's where they can stay overnight, and they'd have the food and the litter and everything they need on that second floor.
I have a question, Aurora. Have you ever been to a cat cafe yourself? And if so, did that influence your business plans? And if not, can you tell me a little bit about like what inspired this idea?
I have not been to a cat cafe actually, but I think that it would just be a really good fit for Brighton because I know there's like a lot of trendy things and cat cafes are very trendy right now. So I think it'd be a good addition to Brighton to kind of further that image of being fun, and it would bring in younger people and families, which I think would be a positive for Brighton.
I have a question. You said you picked the LLC as the option as you wanted for your business to run under. But what is your reasoning? Why did you think that was the better way to go?
When I was presented with the other options like an S corp and such, an LLC just felt much better, and especially like with the pandemic, if I had an LLC, I wouldn't be like penalized for those losses, which would be really helpful because you can't really plan for everything. So I feel like an LLC would help me be able to prepare for anything.
We'll take 2 more questions if there are any. Otherwise, we will move on to the next one.
I did have one more question. So, because you have an empty lot, so you would need the funds to build the building. Would this be something, did you incorporate into your costs that you would own the building or lease the building?
I would own the building. So that, yeah.
Okay, it seems like we are good to go. Thank you so much, Aurora. Great job for Cardoni's cats and coffee and cats. So we are going to move to our third pitch presenter, Haley Stoutenberg of the Community Flower Garden.
Hi, I'm Haley. I decided to do a community flower garden to do something that I know could bring families together with a great sense of community and better the community's healthy eating choices. I made a presentation. Hold on, let me just. Okay. So basically, what I'm going to be going over is why the business, what it is and why it should exist, key characteristics, and how I will invest the money if I win. My promise to the community is to engage their health through smarter and eco-friendly food choices. By opening Brighton's community garden, my goal is to provide fresh products and plants, as well as contributing a sense of community and connection to the environment, and to provide opportunity for satisfying labor and neighborhood empowerment. It's going to be a fresh, locally grown produce. I'm going to have members, so each member of the garden will have a personal garden bed to grow their own produce, and they can choose what they want, the seeds. They'll be helping out a local business. It's a nonprofit organization, and any leftover funds are going to go to bettering the garden for the customers or to food banks. What sets me apart from other places is it's 100% fresh and everything will be picked freshly off the plant. It's organic, no pesticides, nothing is going to be going to waste. I'll be offering food to other members of the community if it doesn't go to the members of the garden. I'm going to offer it to food banks, and it's a nonprofit organization. So some of the revenue streams is that it's going to be about $30 a month for each bed and $10 every time they need new seeds or fertilizer. The startup of my company is going to be about $3,000. The equipment is estimated about $2,000. For my business license, that'll be about 150, and liability insurance 270. So altogether, it's going to be about $1,000 a month. My key partners are going to be the neighborhood community, and I want it to be a comfortable place that people can be assured that they're getting quality food. If I win, I'll spend the money on gardening gloves for each person so they don't have to bring their own, gardening supplies such as shovels, watering cans, rakes, plant markers, composting bins, and fertilizer, flower beds because I would eventually like to expand and have more people join the gardening community, and water systems. Why do I think I should be qualified to win? For me, this is not just about the money, and I would like to do something that I know is good for the community, including the individuals and families who live within it. And I believe that this is a fun way to motivate people to eat healthier and build a sense of community for themselves as well as the other participants. Any questions?
I do have one. If you are going to be a nonprofit, then are you going to be like a 501c3, or have you looked into what you need to do to be set up to function as a nonprofit?
To be honest, I haven't looked a lot into that. There are some things that I would need to do a little bit more research on.
Okay.
Haley, you had the cost of renting a bed, a garden bed, but how many beds can fit? How many garden beds? And is this a vacant lot in the town?
Yes, this is the vacant lot, and about 10 beds will be able to fit inside of the vacant lot, including a utility shed.
So in addition to people paying to grow their food on a lot, are you going to have like a market where people are selling the food, or like what does that look like after you harvest?
Yeah, so basically, the members of the community will be able to come and get the food that they want from their garden, and any leftover produce will be offered to other members of the community who aren't part of like a membership of the garden. And if any of that food doesn't get sold, I'll be offering it to food banks.
Hi, Haley. I really appreciated your cost breakdown of like how much it would cost per month. I might have missed it in there. Is there a cost for the property itself?
No, that's not including the property cost.
Okay. Do you know what that property itself would cost?
No.
Okay. No worries. Just checking.
Okay.
Hi, Haley. I am curious about your gardening experience, and I don't know if your personal interest in gardening inspired this, or if it was just more so inspired by, or I guess what the inspiration behind this business is.
The inspiration was just I thought that it would be a fun way to bring the community together. I don't live in Brighton. I live in a pretty small town, and the community up here is great. When I moved to Brighton for the short period of time that I was down there, everything, like the community down there is very similar to the one up here. They're very close and friendly with each other, and I thought gardening would be a great way to do it. When I was little, I used to garden with my grandma all the time. She would help, I would help her plant flowers, and she had a vegetable garden, and I'd help her plant that, and I thought that was really fun. So yeah, I thought this would be a fun way to bring the community together.
One more question. Would you be the full-time staff person, or would it be run by volunteers?
Yeah, so I would be the full-time staff person, and of course volunteers. I would offer that. So or maybe even hire one employee, like just one full-time employee, and yeah, pay them based on probably minimum wage.
In terms of sizing of the beds, like what, how much would you anticipate people being able to like grow in there? Like, is it, they would just maybe grow a couple plants, or is it sizable enough where they can add, like different types of things in there?
Yeah, so I estimated it out, and each bed should be able to fit about 6 different types of plants. So it offers a large variety for each customer.
We have time for one more question if there's one more. All right, it's looking like everyone is satisfied. It's great job, Haley. You can take a breath of relief. You did it. So we are moving on to Zach Larson of Zacho's Games and More. Oh, looks like he might need a minute. Intermission. All right, well, we'll do some intermission for right now. Give everyone a chance to write down their thoughts if you haven't had a chance to do so, as the people have been presenting. And if anyone has any general thoughts or questions, you can ask.
Kelsey, would you be willing to talk a little bit about what preparation you were able to do with the students prior to the shutdown in terms of like how they've prepared for this?
Yeah, I can. So the students were able to spend, I think it was like 6 weeks on the project before the school shut down. And through the class activities that we did, they were able to get through. If you were a panelist, then you received their business model canvas, which has even more details than they've been sharing in their presentations of all of the different facets of a business. And so they were able to get through about like 80% of that plan before school shut down. And so there were some things that we were unable to go into a lot of details on, like cost. A lot of them were able to do some cost breakdown and are working, but then also had to continue working through that. And all of their presentations that they've created, they've had to do since school shut down. So all of the students presenting today have been meeting with me or with other individuals to prepare and get ready for their presentations. So it's definitely been an amazing effort on all of their part to prepare for this. So it looks like Zacho is ready. So I'm going to turn it over to you now, okay?
Okay. So, this is my business model canvas. What's your business? My business is like a place for video games, I guess, and there's different types of things you can do. You can rent out rooms with the TVs in them that you can be able to hook up systems. Having systems. There's like places. There's lots of there's like a food court place where I can hang out and chat with friends, I guess. I know. It's just
You got this, Echo.
there's a bunch of different there's a bunch of tables also, board games and card games are also available for spots for different in that as well. So much games. 13 to 30-year-olds, like, you know. There could be, there is planned to have cosplay contests. Certain times, not times yet. There's going to be plan to have lots of different TVs around in the main lobby area that like show anime and stuff. Or just TV. It's also kind of a gamey thing too. And yeah.
Zacho, if you want to talk about, I know one of the awesome parts about your business was like your donation, like the charity aspect. Do you want to
Oh
talk?
yeah, right. Because then any money any money that I would get, or the company would get, that I'm gonna make eventually, is going to go to a charity or my business. Most of the charity though, charity that would probably be worth doing at the time.
Hey, Zacho, can you talk about why there is what the need is in the community? Like, what do you want to provide for the community? Like, why do you want to give them a place to play games?
Because there isn't really a place like that yet in the world. At least one that stayed open. There used to be like a college shop or whatever, but now that was, I understand.
So how do you think it will help people, Zach? Like, why will it help people?
I don't know. I just thought it was a good idea because there's
It is a good idea, Zach.
it could help make the community bigger
Mm-hmm.
and maybe bring more people together in ways.
Mm-hmm.
There's also maybe gonna be a lot of special events like the cosplay thing I was just talking about, or like tournaments, like gaming tournaments, like like what Nintendo has usually, like competitive games. Might be able to win some prizes. I don't know. That's figured out that time.
Mm-hmm.
So, there is a way how you can probably be able to rent out consoles and games and stuff for playing in the place. What do you call it? It's not like an arcade. Restaurant? Because there's a food court?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the place with the tables where people would be playing and eating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Zacho, do you want to just scroll down on your business model canvas and talk a little bit about the cost structure and revenue streams? Like, what are you going to have to pay for, and how will you make money?
I'll make money by people donating and by sponsors and advertising and probably other things that people do.
Like you mentioned, the renting, people would rent out to play the games,
Mm-hmm.
and buying the snacks that you're going to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, like there will probably be a lot of different kinds of snacks. There will be drinks and stuff for adults too. There might be a full bar set up, but it won't be barred by by age group. So anybody could hang out in said area, like the ball, the actual ball, the adults usually. So those are gonna be for adults only. That's how you use it. So.
All right, Zacho, is it okay if some other people ask some questions now?
Sure.
Okay.
I probably got lots of questions when this actually exists. So yeah, ask away. You have anything?
Zach, this looks like a really cool idea. Would there be the possibility for birthday parties for your place to be rented for birthday parties?
Yeah, definitely. But I didn't get a discount. So it'll be cheaper for both days.
Did I hear that there would be all different types of games? So you'd have like console, you'd have card games.
Yeah.
You'd be able to play any
Card
type of games there.
Board games. I have different types of areas, but there is a lot of different. It'll be a lot of different types of things like that. Hopefully.
Can you tell me what was the location of this particular business?
I really haven't decided, but probably somewhere in Michigan, and probably a populated area that is popular.
Hey, Zach, how are you doing? It's Mr. Wasmer. You mentioned that there were other businesses similar to this, but they've struggled to stay open. What do you think yours might do differently than the ones that have struggled before?
Well, the problem with the other one that I was just talking about was that it was only for cards, and that was all it was. I'll be like searching for all the different types, so everybody has can make a choice what they can do. I guess it'll be big enough so I can have all these choices.
Thank you.
And also maybe just extra revenue, because it does say that I have said multiple times I also want to be a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer, so I could also use that money to help my business stay open. Maybe if everything goes well. So.
All right. Is any other questions from the panel?
Hi, Zach. This is a really cool idea, and I really like it a lot. So did you say are people allowed to come in and play video games inside of the store? Like,
yeah.
Are you gonna charge?
There'll probably also be an outside part, maybe in the summertime though as well.
That'd be a good idea. How much do you think you would charge somebody to come in and play video games for like a couple hours or something?
I don't know. I mean, like I was thinking like $5 an hour.
Okay, that's not bad.
Or however much they want to play. I don't know. This is kind of is like a fixed amount. But I mean, like 5 is an average.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably.
Cool.
I'll say would they be memberships, so people could just pay on a card or something.
Okay, great job, Zacho. If you want to stop sharing your screen, then I will take control.
Okay. How do I stop?
Click that share, or click at the top. There's a red stop share. Yeah, good job.
Time stop.
All right, so great job, everyone. I really appreciate all of the students, your willingness, like this is new. I don't think any of them have ever presented in a Zoom chat before today. So I am totally with you in how like scary it can be to be basically speaking to your computer and not get the affirmation of smiles and head nods that you normally get when you're talking to people face to face. So great job. I am going to put all students in the waiting room now while the panelists and if anyone else would like to stay to discuss, to offer your insights on our competitors. And then once we kind of reach a conclusion on the winners, then I'll invite the students back in to the chat and we'll present the awards. Sound good? Okay, so I'm gonna put you all in the waiting room. Sure, okay. All right. All right, so all students and parents of those students are in the waiting room. So while they are there, I just want us to kind of just share your thoughts and kind of like, I don't know how we want to do this, like who you think really stuck out the most or like different strengths of the competitors. And I don't know, see if we can reach a conclusion for the competition.
So Kelsey, if I could, so this is Nate, City of Brighton. I would say when I think about downtown Brighton and I think about some of these locations, and you know where my office sits, I look around, I look right out on downtown, and I can see a lot of the activity. And one thing that it's always been clear to me is there.
Okay, they're coming back in. I think they are. I can't see any of them, so I don't know if they're actually there or not.
I can unmute myself, but I can't turn my video back on.
Oh.
Yeah, same.
Here's again.
Oh no.
Well, I could just have my voice. I don't need. You don't need to see my face. My face is not.
Okay. All right, sorry guys. I mean, I think if you leave and come back if you want us to see your video, but if you're
I'm fine. I don't.
Okay, so okay, awesome. All right, so we had a really great conversation about how all of you did such a good job thinking about the community and
who won?
We're getting to it.
I'm just joking.
And really the big things that we emphasized and focused on were that the businesses that really focus on bringing communities together, and all of you had an aspect of that to your business, and some really emphasized that more than others. So what we're going to do is I'm going to announce the place, and then each one of our panelists is going to give you a little bit more specific feedback and praise on your idea. So in fourth place, we have Aurora Cardoni of Cardoni Coffee and Cats, and Tim is going to give you some feedback.
Okay. Yeah, again, Aurora, great job in the presentation and the write-up. Obviously, there's a lot of thought that was put into it, and it's, again, the method that we had to use today was as new to me as it is to you. But at any rate, it was a good presentation. There's a good idea. I think there was some conversation around some concerns with, maybe like with the food and the animal type of thing. Maybe a little more research would need to go into that. There's been some comments too that there are allergies and such things that are associated with with cats and ants, weren't really 100% sure just what that fit would be. And again, the cost of the project was pretty high. I mean, you'd have to do a lot, to get a return on there as well. Certainly, it would appeal to the cat lovers of the world, and not saying there isn't potentially a fit at some point. But again, the thought that there'd have to be a little more would have to go into the concept, to bring it up more on our list. So, but overall, great presentation, and it's your write-up was good, and really appreciate you bringing forth an idea.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so in third place, we have Haley Stoutenberg of Community Flower Park.
So Haley, I wanted to give a little bit of feedback. The biggest thing that drew me with your presentation was your passion. It came through very well. You took a very unique value proposition of an opportunity to bring people into downtown through the community gardening aspect. And I think that a lot of the foundation of your idea, organic, outdoors, a wide range of ages of participants, I think really calls to the type of need that we would want to see in the community. Your presentation was very nice. It was very well organized and it was very clear. It is a downtown lot, and there is a little bit more that goes with operating a nonprofit and having a little better understanding of your cost structure, as well as revenue generation. And I think with a nonprofit, the whole other aspect of fundraising and other types of funds that would need to support an organization or an operation like that, we just need to vet it a little bit more for an operation like that to work in downtown Brighton. But overall, your passion came through very well, and it was a very well thought out presentation. So good job.
Thank you.
All right, so in second place, we have Zacho Larson of Zacho's Games and More.
Hey, Zach. So your idea really spoke to a community aspect of being able to bring people together around a topic that a lot of young people enjoy. With different types of gaming. So not just video gaming, but additional types. I know that we have a store like this where I live, and I visit it with my husband because he's always on the lookout for like retro video games and stuff. So we really thought that your idea spoke to something that's missing in the Brighton area and is like a gathering place for young people, and really something that would be part of the community. So we think that you did a great job there, and that you brought a lot of different things to mind when you talked about your partners and things like that, and the different types of gaming that you would support.
Okay, and then first place, we have McKenna Vincent of Wine Penny Records.
McKenna, this is Nate, City of Brighton. You did a great job on your business concept. I'll just start with that. And I think for me and some of the others on the panel, I think what really resonated was thinking back to when we were younger. So I'll just say I'm 40 years old, but I remember as soon as I got my driver's license when I was 16, one of my early trips was down to downtown Ann Arbor so I could go down to the it was CDs was the thing when I was younger, but it was to go down to hang out in Ann Arbor and go to the record shop, check out all the new music. That place was huge. It's too bad that stuff is not around anymore. I never got into vinyl, but I know vinyl is a big thing. I have a cousin. He's 22 or something like that. Huge into vinyl, and I think you did a good job in showing how your cost structure is, how you would make the revenues to cover your rent. I think the one thing you could do to strengthen your ability to make revenue is perhaps maybe you do offer some limited equipment sales, turntables or speakers or what have you. Not a lot, because you're not going to have a lot of space there, but those higher ticket items will give you some higher profit margins. The piece in particular that spoke to me was the live music portion. I used to go to concerts all the time, small venues, large venues, and what you were describing really reminded me of a place in Ann Arbor that I went to a number of times called the Blind Pig. It was a lower level concert venue, very small, a little bigger than what you're describing here, but I mean, you could put your hand up and you could touch the ceiling. I mean, that's the type of venue it was. I remember bands climbing and hanging from the ceiling. So you really spoke to me personally with that. And when you mentioned the swing fusion, it really reminded me of some of the lack of opportunity and things to do for younger generations. But what you've described speaks to a big spectrum of generations, not just younger folks. So I really think that you did a good job here. It's a niche. We don't have anything like it in Brighton. There's nothing that I'm aware of in Livingston County quite like this. Marcia, I don't know if you have any, there's nothing over in Howell that I'm aware of, is there?
No, that's something first.
So I think this is something that if you really wanted to pursue further, I think there's opportunity for you there. And Marcia and I both know folks that would be good to talk to. We've got event organizers that live in town that do a lot of the downtown concerts, that one of them's on our DDA board. That could talk to you about all that stuff. So great job. You know, I know your teacher has my contact information. If you do decide to pursue this, please keep me in the loop.
Thank you so much.
Good. Keep forgetting to unmute myself. All right, so thank you everyone for being a part of this. I know it's not the norm to have something like this happen via Zoom, but thank you all for your participation and for bringing your enthusiasm as much as we can from our screens and supporting these young people as they dabble into entrepreneurship and what it takes to really start and launch and think through all of the different elements of starting a business. And to all of you who participated, like, I mean, you are the 4 out of 78 who made it to this point, and you're here because of your dedication and your enthusiasm and your willingness to take a chance and do something that other members of the class weren't, you know, they weren't willing to take that same chance. And so congratulations to all of you. I'm really proud of you all for putting in the time, the extra time and the extra effort to do this. It wasn't a requirement for the project or the class, but it was an opportunity, and I hope that you found this valuable for you as well. So
that initiative will be well served in life. So good job.
All right, so that's it for me. If anyone else has anything to add, otherwise we are logging off.